fluffy vocals. We're here for it, though. I'm MJ. I'm the founder of Ultra Love. Pardon my uber duper shiny face. I've just moisturized. We're here to do your August 2024 intuitive tarot readings. Can I handle the shine? I'm not sure. I'm like distracted by my own shiny face. Maybe if I back up a little. Whoop. Maybe we just take the light away. There we go. That's a little better for me. Maybe not for you guys, but anyway, let's get right into your cards there, Aquarius. I'm happy to be here with you. I do offer personal readings. There's a bunch of stuff at the website, Ultra Love. I'm the founder of Ultra Love. I set it up and created the website and produced and created all the courses in the book, with some help, of course. Okay, Aquarius, my lovers. My sister is an Aquarius. I grew up having some besties and amazing collaborators with lots of Aquarian placement. And I have a Venus in Aquarius, so I do be resonating with some of the vibratories for you, Aquarius. Divine guidance and love and clarity. We're going to look at the August energies, divine guidance and love and clarity. You guys can let me know if you be resonating. Remember there was that Nine of Cups we saw at the bottom of the deck as well. I'm feeling like there's probably a desire to get back to that place. So when is there not? If we've experienced Nine of Cup or Nine of Pentacle, that kind of really feel good autonomous energy, it's not quite where we're at though. The Ten of Sword is here, so this is the completion of a cycle, right? You're finishing something. I'm not going back into that. That's done. Ten of Sword as well is like painful. This is like enemies or people that turn on us, situations of betrayal and deceit. Divine guidance and love and clarity. Bleeding. I'm really seeing the blood in that image that I've never noticed quite before, but I'm getting the sense of bleeding out and like bleeding heart. So for some of you, there might be a really important message in that, as far as I can't give so much anymore, or I can't, like changing your perspective, to not, bleeding heart, where we're like just over giving because there's so much pain and it's so awful and I need to give that. There's something being like, I can't do that anymore. Like, because I'm like thinking that belief system or that way of operating or vibrating, I would dare say it constantly had you in the lack, as far as like, out of pocket change, out of disposable income. So there's a belief system that you've let go of, or you're letting go of, thought form, that somehow connects to you not having enough for yourself. Not having enough for yourself because it's the Ace of Cups in the upright. So this shift for you is about making sure your mask is on first, making sure that you're dressed and ready to go first, making sure that, right, you're looked after, your savings are good, your investments are good, your perception of yourself is good. It's like there's all these factors within. There's something getting like really hot. I'm like, I have an electric blanket, and somehow the electric blanket turned up a notch. My feet, my mama, whoa, the heat is on. Do 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 do. Remember that song? Anyone? I spent the afternoon and evening at the beach yesterday, watching a beautiful sunset. A friend of mine put out a barbecue. Really, really lovely energies. Anyway, get back in here. So you guys, you're filling up your cup. You're having to fill up your, if any of us who have been through this, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little while to get back into like, I'm ready now. Because we can't do both, right? I can't be like lying dead and flat, bleeding out. And also They're two very, very polarizing energies, right? Side note and or additional message for some of you, this is the end of a cycle because a child is leaving. A child is going to university. A child is finally like, I'm out of here, mom. I'm not only it's a reversal. So this is more than likely for those of you who have had like a difficult not I'm like, because I'm generationally speaking, I know a lot of us are trying to unpack childhood stuff, but this is a child who's like, I'm going my own way, you know, like, and you're like, okay, lots of love, like, see you, as in, I'm out of here, I'm gonna go break free, I'm gonna go discover myself, you know, I'm gonna go find an amazing life, and I kind of think you're like, all right, well, I can't stop you, I can't change your mind, and I can't think like this anymore because I end up feeling Holla Shazam. Dead, done, and over. It's over. You can't move. It's dead energies. Energies are dead. So what would come after the Ten of Sword, right? Like a Page of Sword, a Knight of Sword, an evolution of your being, a more conscious creator, right? Picking and choosing the messages you receive versus just getting hit by the messages. Okay, let's get a couple more cards for your energy coming in here, Aquarius. Energy's coming in for my Aquarians. Energy's coming in for my beautiful Aquarian lovers. Love. Greater sense of wholeness within, and also an ability to an ability to attract a partner. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Just one more card from this deck. Sun card, yeah. So sit tight, Aquarius. There's some lovely benevolent energy coming in for you. Divine guidance and loving clarity. What are the messages here? What are the additional messages for my Aquarians? Aquarians, love coming in. Okay, but you're likely, say, coming into the beginning of the month, there's some healing here. There's a little bit of angst. There's, for example, another example this could be, your child's growing up and going off to university. So like this, as another example, is just totally the ending of an old version of you, because your child doesn't need you to be their mommy all the time. I mean, you're always going to be their mommy, but I mean, the way you parented it is changing because they're off skis. They're out the door. They're off. They're not. They're reversing. They're off. They're out. So it might have been that the approach for, like, just for example, child applying for university, coming to the final years of their school, leaving home properly for the first time, they're gonna be in it too. You know, they're gonna be like, Mom, don't talk about it. Like, I'm out. I'm a grown up now, Mom. You know, there's like that little bit of trouble, that little bit of plus. I'm not a mother, but loads of friends who are. And every time, whenever I've witnessed my good friends or clients going through this shift where their kids are leaving home, it's a death process. There's often a huge existential crisis around, who am I now? Who am I? Who am I if I'm not mothering these puppies, you know? Like, and then even just coping with the metamorphosis of each transition kids go through. And although I must say, for my generation, I'm appreciating seeing the evolution of parenting, and the way we're kind of sharing our skill sets and learning from one another, as much as I'm sure we're all dealing with the trolls on the internet and lots of judgment as well. But the nice thing about this reading, Aquarius, is that you know, okay, so there's definitely a huge shift. Kids are gone, you're empty nester, that vibe. Or it's just a younger person or getting a message, this situation's over. You're not going to go back, and you're like, fuck. A bit of a like a moment, right? Because then then you have to restore. Then you have to reset yourself. You've got to let more love in. You've got to heal, blah, 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 blah. it's truly through the emotional renewal. So some of you might just have some emotional storm. Some of you might, I'm literally seeing like spa break. You know, like you might go to a hotel for a night or 2 nights and just luxuriate in the pool and the sauna. Right? So there's a fair few little ditties that you could because then as you feel renewed, remember it's the feeling first. I work with clients a lot on the metaphysical representation of the physical body and how to work with consciousness and feeling beyond form. So endeavoring to feel into your perfect body and operate as if you live in it and notice what actions ensue, right? Versus being in angst about everything and then trying to input or like what's the word, like micromanage or control, like through will and force, the diet and exercise and like what other people are telling you your body needs or what you should do. So it's a reversal of the old paradigm with regards to metamorphosis and bodily change. And this is where we get tripped up. There is likely to be physical changes. You know, when I'm in alignment with this size bod, there is likely overall to be less calories. So there's science backed, and yet it really is coming from a higher connection of love and desire and like your true self versus the programming of your gross or your body's awful or you know the only way to be thin or to show up how you want to show up is to starve or through suffering. There's a huge, you know, the Pisces, bearing in mind the Piscean age is one aspect of so a couple things. Like Piscean age is externalized power, right? But yes, pardon me. Piscean age is externalizing power, but there's also a martyrdom. There's like a sacrificial energy. So I don't get to be my own god. I have to bow down to a deity. I have to bow down to an external representation of God to get closer to God. Versus I am that. And thus I embody my desire and desire I am able to metamorph and manifest, right? Because in that regard we are in that quantum realm constantly, and it's a more true aspect of how we create here, right? But that's what's been denied. That's almost, you could say, that's what where this idea of the control forces, seeing the evolution of our species and the evolution of our consciousness of being like, ooh, yeah, but if everybody's an empowered creator, we don't get to keep control. We don't get to dictate what everybody does. We don't get to have all the wealth and the power. That sucks for us. So we better, you know, try to keep it and like make all these excuses why you need to be controlled and look it up when it's not. And you Aquarians, like you guys are the high vibratories. You guys are the leaders of the next 20 odd years as far as it's you guys now. I'm Capricorn rising. Now it's onto the Cappies, but you're gonna have this very profound metamorphosis around what is true power. And what is shifting in our collective is that true power is no longer the people with the biggest house and all the money or the cars or the whatever. More and more people don't give a razzmatazz, and if anything, find it vapid and superficial, and are dang tired of people, you know, dangling their expensive purses and their again things that actually don't really matter. Like, how is your character? Are you generous of spirit? Do you care about the environment, the animals, and the people here? Right? So like our conceptual framework and the way that we're projecting our realities is changing, and we're changing with it. And it's you know, it starts with us too. It starts in our own physical body. I'm rambling, but we're cracking on with I'm gotta be pulling these cards here. Dynamic duo, I'm hearing dynamic duo, and I do feel like this came through in another reading. However, I don't, Aquarius, you're here. There's a reversal for your energy, and that's giving me a sense of like you're just gonna have to be patient with yourself around this alchemical healing. And I totally testify to this. our rational mind in a sense is not rational. There's no sense to any of this, right? In my experience, this idea of healing or, rising like the phoenix or whatever, rebirth, it's just going to take as long as it takes. And what is life? Does anyone know? No, probably not. But like, here we are. And again, from the also love perspective, and a lot of people who resonate here, the biggest shift is that we absolve and or somehow eradicate this military war complex, which is all interconnected with corporate greed, where only these very few people are actually benefiting, and these corporations and these entities are doing harm to the people, harm to the planet. So nobody should be profiteering out of the Earth's or our Earth's people's oppression, or worse, enslavement and abuse. Like, no, we can all do better for one another, for ourselves. And if it means being less consumeristic, if it means us not buying our cheap shit on loop to empower the people that are enslaved around the world, or the parts of the planet that are being dumped by our trash, if that's the kind of sacrifice, I would say it's a worse sacrifice. There's always secondhand. There's always kind of a loop if we desire to shop and have retail, but we just don't need to be buying new. We don't need to be like digging into these resources. We have more than enough for everybody already. And we have the technologies and the innovation, the creative innovations that are going to bring us forward. They're just still like either being hidden, or sometimes there's like a controlled outpour, right? Divine guidance and loving clarity. So there's something about you, you're likely to be kind of waiting, or simply, yeah, just waiting until you can see clearly. Pretty simple message. You will have this illumination this month where you're like, oh my God, that's it. Like, I have to move in this direction. I'm hearing that song. I can see clearly now, because something might shine out at you. Just something about being guided. Like, you might see, somebody might shine, and you'll be like, I have to talk to that person. There's a little bit of like fog, or that 5 of Wands. It's just making me think of like having to walk through a labyrinth or a maze, or having to wait and be like, wait, what is that? Oh, okay, let's go through that. Because there's this whole thing about patience, illumination, wait for things to come to you as much as you're going after them. Some of you are calling in like a love partner. Ooh, interesting cards here. Yeah, but then there again is that polarity or duality. You've got a lot of healing to do as far as like this energy. You're not just gonna like jump up, be like, we're ready. There's somebody's got to come along and take those swords out, and then clean the wounds, and then bandage them up, and then let them heal, and then heal psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, right? So you're just in a little bit of a respite. There's a sense of, it's like, you don't have to think about going anywhere or doing anything. Not right now. If anything, there's something about working through it, purging through it, letting you fill up your own cup, letting other people fill up your cup, just for a moment. Don't go filling other people's cups. Don't go looking for other cups to fill, because for now it's really important for you to fill your own cup and come into greater harmony. For some of you, there's likely to be some emotional purging as well. Okay, like there's that suppression card. I'm just getting like, definitely there's like some ugly crying that needs to happen for you guys. Think of it this way: how do we purge or clear or release? Crying is a release. So if you want to fill up a cup, you got to pour some out. So, oh, crying, sad, pain, bye. And I'm not thinking about escaping the pain, and I'm not thinking about all the different possibilities. I'm just right here, right now, feeling the pain of all the shazam that y'all have been through. Okay, let's look up Bhakti energy. That's like a devotional energy right there, isn't it? And it is in the upright devotion. That's what it means. Bhakti is devotion. You have begun walking on the path of devotion. Bhakti yoga. You are devoted to something greater than yourself, your body, your possessions, or your desires. This dedication is to the divine. Now is the time to ask yourself, what does divinity mean to me? When do I feel close to divine? Paths to Bhakti Yoga include kirtan, devotional mantras, meditations, and prayers to the gods and goddesses, offering service to those in need, and spending time in nature. The selfless path of Bhakti Yoga takes you to the greatest ecstasy of all, the bliss of devoting yourself to spirit. So often is the case, this energy is about our deepening to the connection, our trust in that connection, our flow in moving toward that connection, whether it's how we show up in our body, whether it's the way we relate to one another, to the world, like our devotion to spirit to me is a as in that's why I loop it back to psycho-spiritual wounding. We can heal the physical, we can like do all this emotional work, but if we're not connecting to our unique soul spirit, it can often elude us or be slightly away because we've given power to other. Oh, that person healed me. Oh, that healer healed me. That person did that. Like, yeah, we all collaborate in that regard, and yet the true function of all this, manifestation energy or like a Christed energy is to be your conscious chooser and creator, and no external can dictate that for you. It's like impossible. Hence where we get addicted to the power. Like there's an enticement, to having control over people or power. I just looked up at 2211. Okay, let's get your final cards here, my lovers. Just a deeper love yourself, deeper studying of self. Just like got that sense of interesting card here, financial freedom. Not a bad card at all, right? Divine guidance and loving clarity. Quite a masterful energy for a lot of you Aquarians. In this context in the reading, I'm looking at this reading being like, I feel like there's a singularity. But the Lover's energy feels to me like, but if you are single, there's a potential, oh, hello, like there's a potential spark or, oh, hey, friend. It's funny that certain cards just keep coming up. So, I mean, the Lovers and the Sun, what beautiful energy, you guys. Stay focused on that. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Because you are expanding. I would say entering the month, though, if it's resonating that you're exhausted, tired, feeling done, dead, over, mourning the loss, if one of your children's upset with you or off to uni, big changes, you're like, oh, mommy, emptiness, daddy, emptiness. But actually, this death and rebirth cycle is expanding you. So trust in that. Trust in your your elevation, inspiration via embracing the downturn, the depression, the alone time, right? Yeah, there's a masterful energy. This energy in the center, again, if it's connected to like the big change at home, I'm getting that like you could end up turning your financial situation around quite quickly, Aquarius. Yeah, you could, something about flip it. You could flip it. You could change things up pretty quick. Like you could go from a 2 to a 10 or a 2 to a 9 or a 1 to a 9. As in, I've got this pentacle. What do you want to do with it? Well, let's turn it into this thing. Let's create this thing out of it. Expansion, right? And maybe it's you, or maybe you're going to see somebody to do that. Like you're going to investment vibe, right? You're going to an actual person who does investment. You're like, well, I've got this 2,000. Can you put it on the stock market? Bosh, don't you take financial advice, by the way, from people on the internet, I guess, unless they're qualified. But, however, yeah, Nine of Pentacles, you letting more love in before giving out lights you up, allows you to be seen. And that is part of what maybe is bringing in either a greater sense of financial freedom, actual financial freedom, or the people that are going to be able to help make that happen for you, or you making that help, but you're going to attract people that will help you. Go slow, Aquarius. Plenty to digest this month, but here we are by probably like nearing the end of the month. There'll be a warmth of like feeling better and possibly attracting in new love or a renewal of a love situation. That's your reading. Aquarius, have a great month of August. Thank you so much for being my internet friends. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace out.